Hi, everyone. Welcome to ElasticCon. This session is Better Data Visualizations in Kibana. Today, we will be taking a tour of Kibana using some of our sophisticated yet simple data discovery, analysis, and visualization tools. Peppered throughout today's session, we'll cover some introductory tips and tricks, different workflows between Kibana's applications, subtle best practices, and different use cases inside of Kibana, such as understanding your data, analyzing your data visually, and creating views that you can share with others. Thank you for joining us live during ElasticCon. And just so you know, this meeting will be made available online so you can watch later. This would be a perfect presentation to share with your teammates that are new to the wonderful world of Kibana. Or if you are working primarily in one area of Kibana and would like to get to know more about the rest of the application. Today, we will be covering the following Elastic Kibana applications: Discover, Lens, Visualize Library, Dashboards, Maps, and Canvas. We will be going through a lot of areas in general. So we will be covering a lot of content in a rather short period of time. There is a lot of information, so let's get started. One quick note about the data I will be using and how you can follow along. If you'd like to follow along the easy way, take a moment to sign up for a cloud trial at cloud.elastic.co. That's cloud.elastic.co. After your cloud trial is set up, you'll need to install the sample weblogs demo data. If you are watching this video recording later, it would make sense to pause and do that now if you'd like. Of course, if you have a data set, feel free to follow along with that. Thank you so much for watching. The product management team at Elastic values feedback and data in order to help us determine which products and features we should build next. We also monitor the forums at discuss.elastic.co. Once again, discuss.elastic.co. You can also ask your current Elastic contacts to get in touch with the product manager. We would be delighted to hear from you on your ideas to help make Kibana the best product available. Okay, let's get going. So here we have the homepage of Kibana. There are all kinds of important links here. I will be using our cloud trial environment to demo today, which is the easiest way to leverage the power of the Elastic Stack, especially if you are looking for the latest official versions of all of Elastic's products. You will notice here on the homepage that you can install demo data. If you plan to follow along, please install the sample weblogs, which is sample data, visualizations, dashboards, and more for monitoring weblogs. This data set has time series and geospatial information as well, so you can use it for a lot of different use cases. I've already got it installed. If you don't have it installed, just click Add Data. We're going to start today's session with Discover. Discover is a very important part of Kibana. In fact, it is our most widely used application here at Elastic. Discover is also the best place to figure out what type of data you have and start your analysis. Discover is very important for two critical use cases we see a lot. The first one, which I just mentioned, is that Discover can be used quickly to gain an understanding of what kind of data you have. All types of information about the fields, previews of top values, and more. For example, you may load a new set of data inside of Elasticsearch, such as weblogs here, and are unfamiliar with the format of the logs. Discover is perfect for quickly getting your bearings. This allows you to start with another top use case, which is data analysis. Discover will quickly become, if it has not already, a fast and familiar interface for analyzing data, with filters, time range, and search being key interface components. For example, if you are looking for an anomaly, an error, an exception, a keyword, or a string in a large blob of text, Discover fits the bill nicely. Here, we see the default view of our weblogs sample data in Discover. On the left, I have a list of fields and important information about them. In the middle, I have a histogram on top to show me the amount of records ingested over time, and a classic table view of the records that are within the bounds of my search, filters, and time selections. Here, I've only got 7 days selected with no search or filters. These are the 3 primary ways to refine Discover to analyze the records you're looking for. And the entire application of Discover is a powerful and simple interface to better understand your data. In order to see the whole document, you simply expand the row. When you are analyzing data with Discover, the entire indexed document is just 1 click away. There are a couple of things that you may not have heard about yet that are central to the future of Discover for data discovery. The first is called runtime fields. Runtime fields enable you to create and query fields that are evaluated only at query time. So instead of indexing all the fields in your data as it's ingested, you can pick and choose which fields are indexed and which ones are calculated only at runtime as you execute your queries. Runtime fields support new use cases, and you won't have to reindex any of your data. To start using them, click the little menu next to Index Pattern, and then click Add Fields to Index Pattern. A few simple examples of runtime fields would be to combine multiple fields into one field, split a field into multiple fields, or format fields differently, such as dates and numbers. 2 of my peers are leading a session about runtime fields right after this presentation. It is called Creating Fields on the Fly in Kibana with Runtime Fields, and I encourage you to attend if you're interested. We also have been building a new table to replace our current classic table, which is what we call this large section in the middle with the rows. In order to try it out, you can click Options, Get Started. This will take you to Discover's advanced settings, and you'll be able to toggle the classic and new tables back and forth for the current space you are in. Discover's new table includes new features such as the ability to simply drag and drop fields, a new way to compare selected documents, and easier ways to sort and filter your data. It is also extremely fast. But please note, changing the new table is a per space setting, so it will change the table for every user of that space. We also would value your feedback on new table. We continue to get feedback from the community on what will make Discover even more powerful. So please try it out and let us know what you think. Your feedback will help us build a better and more useful Kibana. I'll show you one way to give feedback later in this presentation. Now, different people learn in different ways. Some are information-based and some are visual. Whether it is learning to understand more about the data, or if you're trying to quickly analyze data, Kibana has different ways to accomplish these goals. If you are ready to start visualizing your data and want to get started right away, you will find our Lens application very valuable. In Kibana, it is important to be able to visualize data quickly. To that end, we put the ability to quickly visualize data in Discover by sending it straight into Lens and suggesting different visualizations. Lens is an easy to use and powerful tool for visualizing data. Let's visualize one of our fields in Lens now. In order to do that, I can simply click the field in Discover's field list and then click Visualize in the context menu. If you don't see a Visualize button, the field probably is not one that you can create a visualization from, such as _ID in this data set. I'm going to visualize the Machine OS field, which contains the operating system information of the servers in these logs. So here's Machine OS. You'll notice right away we switch to Lens. Discover and Lens are a very powerful duo, and we are committed to improving the experience between the products. You can quickly use either to get an idea of your data or to continue the analysis of your data. You can also save your queries and visuals for reuse and quick access to your most common use cases and share them with your team. So in Lens here, we are looking at different operating systems of our machines. Lens is nice because it automatically and effectively recommends things to you. Lens understands the fields and their data, so you can drag and drop fields into Lens and get suggestions on different visualization types. At the bottom of Lens, we see those different suggestions. I can easily switch the type of visualization and add a field. Lens will change the recommendations and format of the aggregations automatically. It is both a sophisticated yet simple way to visualize your data in Kibana. Lens is the recommended way to visualize data if you want to get started faster and with recommendations to help you explore your data visually in Kibana. So here at the bottom, I've got a donut. And if I switch to donut, then I can just start dragging fields over into Lens. For example, the geographic destination field. So you see how Lens just provided a really nice way to get multiple visualizations out of the data with just a couple clicks. This one happens to be showing me where my most active destinations are by operating system. Lens is also changing the recommended visuals on the bottom based on the types of fields and the values of the data, amongst other things. In order to switch to a different visualization, I can simply click it. Let's check out that tree map and the stacked bar. So here's the tree map. And here's the stacked bar. And I can see it looks like the other countries are winning. So let's say I like the tree map. I might have some of the following needs and questions at this point. Like, for example, how can I make it so that others can leverage this visualization in their dashboards and their canvases? Where does it get saved? What's the way to organize all of these visualizations in a centralized place? To answer these questions and more, we've built the Visualize library into Kibana. Let's save this visualization into the library and talk about some of the options and the way that this centralized visualization store works. So in the upper right, I'll just click Save here. Now, if you haven't used Kibana or haven't used the Visualize library yet, I think a quick explanation of how the Visualize library works would be in order at this point. Quite simply, it's a way to consolidate all of the great visualizations that you will build inside of Kibana. The Visualize library is a way to centralize visualizations that can be used in other places. So if you edit a visualization that is in the library, it will change universally throughout Kibana, anywhere that it is used. You can also have standalone visualizations that are decoupled from the Visualize library. They live on their own and are not part of the concept of the Visualize library. You can also use the process of saving visualizations to create new dashboards on the fly, add tags to visualizations, and more. Let's add our new visualization to a new dashboard and also save it to the library. So here I'll give this a name and I'll just call this Elasticon tree map with OS by Geo. And I can give it a description if I want. I won't here. Add to existing or new dashboard. I'll create a new dashboard. And then I can also add it to the library here and give it some tags if I'd like. I'll skip the tags part. And then save and go to dashboard. So now we've got the beginnings of our new dashboard. You can add other visualizations from the library here or create them on the fly. So let's add a map that's part of the demo data we've been using, these sample web logs, and then let's filter the dashboard and save it. So I'll click Add from Library, and here is a map called Total Requests and Bytes. And if I go back to the dashboard, then maybe perhaps I'll expand these and make it look a little more mindful of the space on the screen. And then I said I was going to add a filter. So I am looking at the geo destination. So let's look at the geo source. And I can just start typing So there's the source. This will be where the traffic is from. And let's take a look at a country. I'll take a look at the US since that's where I'm sitting. And I'll save that. And you'll notice that the tree map and the map are a little bit more to look at now with the filter. So dashboards here are the most common way for analysts, operators, and others to sync up all of their data in one place. A very common use case for dashboards is to be displayed on giant screens where everyone can see them. So be careful you get them right. You can also edit a visualization from a dashboard quickly right here in order to refine it to exactly what you need. Let's take a look at this map in more detail using the Maps app. So I'll click this little settings icon and click Edit Map. So now I'm in the Maps app. I won't discuss all of the goodness of maps, but there is much goodness. It is safe to say Maps is a very powerful way to view your geographical data. Maps is based on layers of data. Elastic provides an Elastic Maps service for certain types of information as well that you can integrate into your Maps use cases. And Maps also includes advanced features like a time slider and geofenced alerting. Here at the bottom, I've just opened the time slider in Maps. The way this works is you choose the size of the chunk of time that you want to look at and then autoplay through the time blocks. So for example, day by day or minute by minute, or you can simply page through them one at a time with some VCR-like buttons. So here I can move through the days one at a time, or I can just hit play. Maps also has the ability now to perform geofenced alerting. This powerful feature will send an alert when an event happens within the geofence you set. So for example, if something comes or goes from a certain area, you can be notified. Maps has evolved a lot the past couple of years, and if you haven't tried it with your data yet, and it makes sense, it might be time to take a look. The last piece of the puzzle for this presentation, at least, is to show you Canvas. Canvas is a way to format all of the information in the Elastic Stack in a visually stunning way. Some common use cases for Canvas are to create beautiful reports, gorgeous visual displays for any size monitor, or maybe even to embed into other websites and applications outside of Kibana. And of course, sharing your analysis with your team and other interested parties always looks great with Canvas. We like to say that Canvas is pixel perfect. Let me open it now. Upon opening Canvas, I'm presented with a list of canvases that I have access to. The one that I'm going to use today came with the sample weblogs data. This one is configured with a bunch of neat things that aren't really evident until you start digging into the details. The goal, of course, is to have something that looks clean and simple and branded, yet is very powerful and connected in real time to your data. Let's take a look at how all this works. Each item you see on the screen, from the text to the pictures to the graphs and visualizations, is a unique element that can come from any data source in Elasticsearch. This makes it possible to blend multiple data sources into the same canvas. Even those little check marks at the top next to the server names are linked to data. Behind the scenes, Canvas uses an expression language to evaluate and pass values from function to function until the element is displayed. This is a powerful language in a robust application that allows you to fully configure nearly every aspect of the look and feel. Allow me to show you how it is all tied together. So I'll take a look at one of these checkboxes and click it. You'll notice on the right, I've opened the details of the element. And if I click data, you can see that it's actually connected via SQL to an Elasticsearch data source. And then on the bottom, you'll notice now that I opened the expression editor. This is where you can view and edit the expressions that are tied to your elements. All three of these components, the canvas, the display and data, and the expression editor, are the backbone of designing and building a canvas. They all stay in sync no matter what you change or where you change it. And everything you do is saved in real time, so you can easily undo and redo things as you go along. Let me zoom in a bit here on the expression editor so I can walk you through this in a bit more detail. I won't bore you with all of the details of walking through this line by line, but safe to say each function passes down a result to the next function and so on and so forth until the element is rendered onto the canvas. You can, with a little training, start editing expressions here, or you can use an external editor. I want to point out one thing in this expression, which is kind of neat. So here we see it's looking for the error 400. And we're toggling the image from a green check mark to a red X warning if the condition matches. That's what those long ID strings pointing to assets do. All of your images are encoded in Canvas as assets. So you can easily export a canvas and send the canvas to someone else to work on in their environment. Canvas can also use the data visualizations that we were looking at before, the lens, tree map, and the map. So let's do that now. So I'm going to go and add a page here to Canvas. You can have multiple pages, of course. And I'm going to add an element. And I'm going to choose my map total requests and bytes. And I'll move it over here to the right. And then let's add our tree map. Okay, and now Canvas, of course, allows me to snap and edit this and move these around and brand it and change all of the colors and the coordinates and all that other jazz in order to get it just right. These elements also have their own time associated with them. So for the map, let's do today and update that. And then maybe zoom out a little bit and center it so it looks beautiful. And then let's change the tree map to, oh, maybe the last 30 days. Take that. So here I've added the lens and the map that we were looking at before. Canvas is like a living presentation connected to data in real time. So you're able to get the exact view you want with Canvas and truly make Kibana your own. So as we wrap here, I would like to thank you for taking some time to watch this presentation about presenting data using Kibana. Perhaps you have learned some new things and rediscovered some classics. I also promised to show you how to give us feedback. So when you're here at the Kibana homepage or anywhere else in Kibana, you can click the little wheel in the upper right and then click Give Feedback in order to submit product feedback directly to the product management team. Please use it to get in touch with us. We really like feedback. Once again, thank you, and please enjoy some of the other sessions for ElasticON 2021. Bye for now.